I can't be the only person on earth who has made a relationship survive longer than it needed to by just going on trips with the person that things are not working with. And the particular guy that I'm thinking of, right before we broke up, and probably the catalyst for us breaking up, is we spent a weekend in San Luis Obispo at this awesome place where every hotel room has a hot tub on the balcony. And I had sold it to him being like, it's gonna be awesome, we'll just get drunk, we'll get stoned, we'll fuck on that, in the hot tub, we'll fuck on that balcony, we'll but that's like fucking, yes we got stoned, and yes we got drunk, and like the rest was a fucking nightmare. Mostly because like I had brought this like insanely, this is back when like edibles, like your friends made edibles and they'd be like, ugh, cut it into 12s. Gia made this incredibly strong edible and she was like, cut this bad boy into 8s or you'll be and the day, like, we woke up, like, we got there late on Friday night, we woke up Saturday morning, and he was like having some sort of like internal meltdown, and while he went into the bathroom, I like cut the fucking brownie in half, ate half of it, and didn't tell him. And then I was like, I want to go to this restaurant for breakfast. It's gonna be fucking bomb. Look at the size of the food. Fuck this shit. I'm out. And so we drove to this like it was like a mountain of food place is all I can describe it as. So now we're at this restaurant. I'm about 30 seconds before I blast off and fucking join a different colony of people, the high people. We're in a booth. He's sitting across from me, and next to us is a banquet table. On the banquet table, there are all these gigantic people. It's like a Paul Bunyan guy, a Paul Bunyan guy, a Paul Bunyan lady with back fat that looks like breasts from the back, and then a Paul Bunyan guy. And then a bunch of Paul Bunyan people across from them. And they must all be related, and I'm imagining all of this. I'm stirring up this like tale of these big fucking people. And then the waiter comes over and is like, excuse me, would you like to order? And I'm like, bitch, I would like the soup of the day. I would like potato sliders. I would like pancakes, extra crispy bacon. And you know what? Start by bringing me a motherfucking chocolate sundae. I'm ready to eat. Who's not ready is my boyfriend, who's sitting across from me horrified because he's like, what's happening? Why are you doing all of this? And I still haven't told him that I ate that edible. And so the waiter takes our order, and the Paul Bunyan lady turns around and she looks right at me. Except for the Paul Bunyan lady is actually a 12-year-old fucking boy that's just a giant boy. And I can't let it go. I'm like fucking screaming and laughing and crying. And my boyfriend at the time is like looking at me and he's like, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? And I'm like crying and laughing like the Joker, and I look him dead in the eye and I'm just like, that young boy is really a middle-aged woman, right? It's not. And my boyfriend's like, what is going on? So I open my purse and I take out a Ziploc bag with the other half of the brownie in it, and I'm like, I hate this. And he snatches it out of my hand all pissed off like a fucking dad, and he storms out of the restaurant. And in my head I'm like, wow, is he really gonna leave and I can enjoy myself? Great. And then the waiter comes and brings us all this food, and he got probably a hamburger and fries, and I'm just like, f him, I'm eating this. And I'm like eating my sundae. It's like we're eating with two hands, just like, f it, I'm high, like everything, sensory overload. And then he comes back in and he takes a fucking plastic bag and he throws it at me, and he's like, I ate the other half. And I'm really laughing and crying because I'm like, that's like 4 hits, dude. You're going to fucking space. You cannot undo what you've done. And now he starts now he's crying. He's immediately having a panic attack. He's like, I don't want to do this. I'm afraid. And I'm like, we should just pack up all this food and go. But he won't. So I asked for the check. I can't remember which one of us pays. But we walk outside. I'm like, I have to lay down, dude. I'm like I don't have any answers for you. And he wants to walk to the beach and lay in the sand. And I'm like, dude, if you walk to the beach and lay in the sand, I'm going to lay in the car because I'm going to fucking leave this planet in a second. And he's like, I'm afraid to drive. I'm like, it will not hit you for fucking 25 minutes to an hour. Drive us back to the hotel. But also laughing and laughing and laughing because I know what's about to happen to him. So he's all pissy. And he gets in the driver's side and I'm in the passenger side, and it's just like anger and silence and me trying to stifle a laugh. And he goes into reverse and he turns the wheel and you hear this like scream. And he had a brand new Lexus, and he's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, well, you kind of hit your car, buddy. And he keeps backing up, and we're driving for like 15, 20 minutes, and he just starts sobbing. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, do you think do you think I hit a little kid? And I was like, what? what do you mean, do you think you hit a little kid? And he was like, oh, I think I hit a little kid. That's what that noise was. And I was like, my dude, dude, let me tell you something. If you hit a little kid, it goes like squish, donk, donk, not like scrape. But also, like, my English is poor, and I'm like laughing and crying, and also like I have to lay down. I'm gonna fall asleep soon. I'm not here with you, brother. Good luck. And we're like maybe 10 minutes away from the hotel, and he's sobbing. He's just sobbing the whole drive, and I can't stop laughing because it's so fucking funny to me. And then we pull into the hotel, we park the car, I immediately jump out because I need to get away from him because he's a fucking downer. And I look at the it's just a little scrape on the bumper. I look at it and I'm like, we're fine. There's no fucking blood, you know? And I walk into the hotel and I like look at the front desk guy and they have a whole plate of cookies. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some. So I have a whole handful of these cookies. I look at the dude, I'm like, what's your name? Fernando, we're gonna be buds. I'll probably room service you in a minute, and God bless. Go up to the fucking room, take off all of my clothes, get into bed, and pull up the sheet, and I'm just like, oh, I can finally pass out. And then 2 minutes later, my fucking boyfriend comes in, and he's like, oh, I killed a little kid. I mean, like, at this point, I'm like, maybe you did Should we talk about when you killed a little kid one time? Because I'm fucking getting worried here. But then he's like, I'm like, look, get in the shower, and just calm the fuck down, be in the shower for as long as you need, just get in the fucking shower. So he gets in the shower, and then I forget he exists, just like ADHD and object permanence. I'm just like, whatever. I call the front desk, I start ordering more food. I'm like, hey, what's the soup of the day? Do you have a sundae? I got all that shit taken away from me before because fuck. But I am like, I am gonna get in the hot tub, and like, you know, I might have the music on, so when you get here really and just like boom, 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 knock like a fucking cop, so I can like, I'll know. And then I turn the music on, and I get in the hot tub, and I start having my own vacation. This whole time he's in the shower. And all of a sudden he runs out naked, all wet, like, oh, I think the cops are here. Somebody's talking like the cops. And I was like, it's Fernando. And I get up, and I'm like, I like pull in this, I like sign the thing. I'm like, Fernando, thank you, you're my man, here's some cash. I pull in my tray, I turn around, and I look at my boyfriend, and I'm like, motherfucker, cops are here for you. Anyways, if you have any takeaway from this, it should be that if you run over a kid in your teens to 20s, talk about it with a specialist. Don't let it come out when you're having a meltdown over a weed brownie that hasn't even hit you, with your girlfriend who just wants to get drunk and high in a hot tub.